Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of New to Weeaboo. This is number 122 for May 22nd, 2024. I'm Nemesis. I'm joined by Alcatraz.
Hello.
Yeah. Had a bit of a delay because, things happen. You can't control them, that sort of thing. But, we're back. As we said, we're going to be watching a movie. Or we did watch a movie, I should say. I can't think of much else, but there's stuff I should have mentioned last time. I can't believe I didn't, which, I watched the Spy Family movie a while ago now. Which was really good. I remember the other thing I was going to mention. I totally forgot. I even marked it and then totally just forgot to mention it, which was like Mappa. Studio Mappa is bleeding employees right now because, Mappa.
Yeah, when you overwork everyone that works for you.
Not just low level, but the high level ones too.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's a bit of a thing. And also they also officially confirmed finally something people suspected, which is the Yuri on Ice movie has been canceled. People suspected for a long time. Of course, now people are worried about the Zombieland Saga movie, and apparently a lot of insiders are saying, no, that's still on track and still moving forward. It's a different process entirely for that one.
Right.
Other than that, on personal thing, I finally watched Shy, which was really good, and I'm looking for season 2 out this year. And I caught up on Dungeon Meshi or Delicious in Dungeon, depending on how you want to do that one.
Right.
I finally caught up on that because people are starting to post unmarked spoilers for that. All right, time to watch it. There's a bunch of other stuff I want to get to because, a bunch of stuff this season I really want to watch. I mean, there's the Girls Band Cry, Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night, Hibike Euphonium, Konosuba 3, and Konosuba. Those both getting the third season.
I haven't watched any of those. I need to watch all of that.
There was another one. I'm keeping up with Whisper Me a Love Song. Yeah, so lots of stuff there for me. But, yeah. Not talking about all that yet. Some of that stuff is definitely earmarked for, gotta figure that out. But we talked about, a classic movie, a Studio Ghibli movie, Spirited Away, or Sento Chihiro no Kamikakushi. So, yeah, it's one of the, Studio Ghibli movies, which, Studio Ghibli is kind of a big deal, as you might imagine.
You may have heard of them before.
You may have heard of them, yeah, this came out in the summer of 2001, so it's a bit old now. A bit old. Before we get into the meat of it, so to speak, just quick thoughts on it. It's a very beautiful movie. The plot is serviceable, but it's still worth watching.
Yeah. I say Ghibli definitely, their reputation of artwork definitely precedes them.
Yeah.
But it is definitely an interesting story, trying to follow it.
Yeah.
A lot of interesting things going on. It's definitely a spectacle. But, like I said, plot is serviceable. I want to say I'm trying to find interpretations of it, and it's a little bit difficult, but still very enjoyable to watch, yeah.
So, yeah, getting into the actual thing, in case you haven't watched it. I mean, say somehow, of course, for both of us, the first time we watched it, so hey. But getting into the nitty-gritty. So, you have a family. They are moving to the countryside. It's pretty far out there, because even, the mother was complaining about how far she'd have to go for grocery shopping, right? You got the Ogino family, right? And you got their daughter, Chihiro. They kind of wind up lost a little bit. They find a tunnel and they go down and it looks like, it's an old abandoned amusement park. And eventually they find actual hot, freshly cooked food, and the parents start digging in, and she's the entire time Chihiro's like, I don't know about this. Anyway, she wanders off, and then also the parents turn into pigs, and turns out now she's in a spirit world and she's trapped there, and she gets help from a boy named Haku, and winds up, being employed by Yubaba, and shenanigans, magical, spiritual spirit shenanigans ensue, and eventually her whole thing, she has to try to save her parents and escape.
Yep.
And that's the thing. Yeah, so when I said the plot was serviceable, what I mean about that is there's not really a lot of depth or complication to it, really. It exists and it works. It's not like it's bad or anything. It works, but it's pretty, actually, when you look at it, it's actually pretty straight. The plot itself is pretty straightforward. And it feels like a lot of it, I'm not sure if this is a common thing for Studio Ghibli, because I've heard apparently this is one of the more but people very much either love it or hate it. Not necessarily hate, but some people see it as a weaker movie, some people don't. But, because Studio Ghibli kind of. What I'm getting at here is, the story itself feels like it's very much constructed for the sole purpose of showing us these visuals, which are really good looking. Everything looks amazing. Not only does it look good from a art perspective, it's very imaginative.
Yes.
Like a very diverse and imaginative, and just kind of they really get into this. Sometimes stuff like almost impossible architecture and whatnot, and just because it looks good.
Yeah.
And
the plot is there to give them something cool to draw.
Yeah, which they're an animation studio, so it kind of makes sense. Their big thing is like, we just want to make a good-looking animated movie. So the whole story kind of serves as a way to just show off some really cool animation and art and whatnot, which isn't bad. But it does kind of like, it's like, oh, it's actually a lot more straightforward than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Not bad, but
yeah, at times
it's pretty uncomplicated.
Yeah, at times I almost felt like it was like making a commentary on like consumerism.
Yeah, maybe.
I feel you kind of have to grasp at that one, but not too hard. Especially like the parents are pigs. They start eating, and the entire area is just like it's all there to service spirits to just like indulge themselves, basically.
Mm-hmm. Because, the whole thing was like the parents just started eating this food. It's like, there's no one here. It's an abandoned amusement park. I would be like, yeah, no, this is sketch.
Yeah, it's very sketch.
This is sketch. This is like...
It's a trap.
This is some sort of trap. I ain't touching that. Man, they just started eating. It's like... But yeah, she had that good sense to go, nope, this is wrong. This doesn't feel right. But they turn into pigs and all that stuff. And Haku turns out to actually be a dragon.
Turns out that Haku is a dragon, but not just a dragon. Yeah. He's a guardian spirit of a river.
Yeah, that she fell into. We find out later. That's one of the things. They kind of sometimes throw things in. It feels like, oh, okay, we're just doing that. Okay. But also, there's a lot of stuff which, they don't really bother explaining because it's one of those, it doesn't really matter if it's explained or not.
Also,
a lot of that stuff.
I'm wondering how much of it doesn't need to be explained because it's expected that you kind of already understand some of it.
Because, it might be
cultural.
It might be some Japanese folklore stuff that we're just completely unaware of.
Yep.
Because a lot of it seems like that case. Like a lot of it's just like, it's just thrown at you. It's like, okay, what's that? Oh, we're not going to, okay, whatever.
And it could just be, a lot of it is symbolism that just goes straight over our head because we've just never been involved in that.
Yeah, because like the no face, for example.
Yeah.
That's an odd one. Because I've seen the no face all over the place.
Yeah, it's common in all the pictures involving this movie.
Yeah, but I'm like, it's like, okay, so he's lonely, so he tries to befriend Chihiro or something, but also he's willing to just eat the other patrons of this place. Also, he can make pebbles look like gold.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he gets really aggressive and then trying to befriend Chihiro. Chihiro's like, I've got something to do. Yeah, it's interesting that.
Again, you could grasp at straws that this is a offering what you want, and she's standing up for what's right instead of just giving in to those desires or whatnot.
Yeah.
Again, kind of grasping, but I can see it.
Yeah. There's all the whole thing like surprise. Yubaba actually has a twin sister, Zeniba, who is the older sister apparently, and they apparently don't get along really well, and it's a whole thing. It's also like there's a line dropped where it's like Haku's like giving Chihiro the advice: go to Yubaba, ask for a job, do not stop asking. Whatever you do not stop asking. And she keeps asking until Yubaba just gives her the job, and also says something about she has to because of some reason, something's compelling her. She has to give a job to anyone who asks her for one, which is interesting because again, they don't get into that, but that's just a thing. I don't know. Again, it might be a folklore thing. It might be made up for this movie. I don't know, but it is interesting. Just in then the sister's out in the woods and or out in the swamp, I should say. Yeah, they're just separated and. Because, Yubaba's acting like Zeniba's the evil one, and Zeniba actually seems like the nicer one of the two, but...
Yep.
Then again, there's also that thing, but Yubaba also isn't all bad? And yeah, it's one of those things. It's like there isn't really a villain per se. Not
Yeah.
like cackling evil villain, but it's kind of like she's kind of like the antagonist.
Evil
to a
is
degree.
capitalism.
Yeah, she's like Yubaba's the antagonist, but like she's not particularly evil or anything.
Yeah.
She seems to be a bit. How should I put it? Maybe a bit greedy. A bit like
a bit greedy.
doesn't really care that much about others, but not that much, but yeah. Also, Chihiro meets Rin, who's a worker there as well. That's a weird thing because like there's something like those humans, they got a stink about them and whatnot that the spirits don't like, and like Rin looks human though, so I'm not sure what that's. But she like Chihiro at once. It sounds almost there's implication from the dialogue that Rin's a lot like Chihiro, possibly.
Yeah,
she showed up here and she got stuck here.
Yeah, along with the smell thing, there is a line Haku says that 3 days of eating the food and she won't smell like that anymore.
Yeah. Because also that's one thing Rin just straight up eats. What was a newt?
Oh yeah, like the charcoal encrusted newt, or apparently it's considered like a delicacy.
Yeah, it's like, all right, I would not have eaten that, but at least I wouldn't have considered it a delicacy. It's one of those. If I'm eating this, it's because there's literally nothing else, and I am starving to death. Literally starving to death.
Yeah. Yeah, people eat frog legs and other stuff, so.
But, I don't know. But yeah, so yeah, and of course, that's the thing. Again, all the spirits come in like a lot of forms. You got like the kind of what look like just I guess, misshapen humans. Again, Yubaba is a big one because like literally she's just massive head.
Massive head, but she's also a crow.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Kind of, she wraps herself into a blanket and she looks like a crow, but she also got this. She actually has a crow that looks like her. Well, yeah, it's like
a little one.
Yeah, and also like those 3 heads.
Yeah,
yeah. Like all the workers look at they have like the frog people and the different spirits all looking different. Like one looks vaguely like a walrus.
There's the
guy with 6 arms, Kamaji. Kamaji, yeah. He's got like 6 arms and he has a bunch of little spidery things helping him.
Yeah, his arms just stretch as far as they need to.
Yeah.
And those spider things are like dust mites that have been enchanted to work.
And they're also like the little chicken duck thing looking things and
then Bo.
A massive baby, literally.
Yep.
Literally a massive baby, and I'm just like okay. Because apparently that's Yubaba's baby, but
all right,
I'm not going to ask.
Spirit world.
I'm not going to ask any questions. I don't want to know the answer. I don't want to know, so I'll just leave that be.
Yep.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like also, like turns out like what was one thing? Oh, there's like the they thought was a stink spirit turned out to be a river guardian.
Yeah. That one is kind of interesting. I'm still trying to wrap my head around some parts of that because, like, the medicine that he gives her.
Yeah.
There's some like implication he knew it was going to be important.
Yeah. Well, he's a spirit guardian.
He's a spirit guardian, so maybe it's really important.
But yeah, they assumed it was a stink spirit, but no, it's just a polluted river, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the implication. It's a polluted river. They cleaned it out with the...
Again, commentary.
Yeah.
On modern society.
Yeah. Commentary.
That's what I'm thinking it is. It's like there's hints of commentary on modern society.
Yeah, some of it just feels like
it feels like
it's almost kind of thrown in sometimes.
Yeah, it's like this feels like it's supposed to be commentary, but I also don't know if it's supposed to be or not.
Yeah. That medicine, she tried to eat it once, went bleh. Wound up giving it to Haku, and he spit up something because he apparently stole a witch's seal.
It was a seal, yeah.
From the twin, and he spit up it came with like a black gooey thing, and she stomped it and killed it and broke the curse. Apparently, what wasn't from Zenobal, like they thought that because apparently they thought that the seal had a protection spell, and so that's what they thought it was. No, it turns out that was from Yubaba to control Haku.
Yep.
But the protection spell is gone regardless. I don't know what the heck happened there.
Yeah, that was an interesting one.
It's just gone.
Or did she say it was gone?
Yeah, she said the protection seal was gone when she got it back because that was the thing was Haku's not doing so well, and Chihiro's basically wants to take the seal back to Zenobia and apologize and whatnot, and she's a nice person, turns out, which is nice. It was nice, and also that was the thing, she's being chased by the no face because be my friend. Be my friend.
Yep.
So eventually he calms down and he's puking up everything. She gave him the piece
The
of
other
that
half
medicine.
of the medicine, yeah.
Yeah, and like he just starts throwing everything up that he ate, including the people he ate, and getting smaller and getting all gross and leaving a nasty slime trail everywhere. And then he finds a purpose, which is helping Zenobah with her little what was it? Knitting
spinning
stuff
wheel.
on?
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
spinning
Loom?
wheel.
Spinning wheel.
Yeah.
And interesting, yeah, because also Haku was being chased by those paper things, which are actually from Zenobah, and then she was able to kind of mess around with remotely, which is like man, he was just through the paper thing, remotely messing with people, including like turning Bo the baby into a rat,
And
and the
didn't want to
crow
come
into
back.
a tiny crow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stuff like that. So there's the whole thing about like the train, goes one way now for some reason. There's a lot of little things. It's like we get hints at other stories that happened without ever being told the story.
Exactly.
Which is interesting. It's a good way to I guess, spurn the imagination up.
Exactly.
Spurn the imagination
I love
up.
stuff like
But
that.
sometimes it's like, just could you at least give me a little more? Just a little more. But yeah, it's very much it feels like once you do all that, and then Haku, the whole thing turns out he saved her when she was younger because she fell into a river and he saved her. So that connection. Of course, there's a the whole they're in love with each other, even though
Yeah.
movie romance.
Yeah.
They're in love with each other. This whole thing. But but she has to go back to the real world and he's still going to be here. So it's like, I guess doomed.
But the spell over Haku that is broken, so he has his own will. There's the other whole thing with names.
Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah, Yubaba can basically that's the kind of thing. I remember that. That's a very important thing in Japan. In Japan, they very much put a lot of emphasis on names.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Yubaba, when you sign the contract, she takes your name, and that gives her power over you.
Yep.
And then she renames you, so that Chihiro becomes Sen.
Yep.
1,000.
Yep.
Yeah, so she becomes Sen, and because of that, but at first she actually doesn't even remember her real name until she actually, because of actual just luck, because she got a farewell bouquet from her classmates when she moved. It was still in the card was still in her pocket and had her name on it, so she wrote her name.
Yep, she kept her name, and then later remembered the name of the river that Haku was the guardian of, and that freed him.
Yep.
That was funny. They're flying back. Oh, your name is this. Poof. And he turns, and they start falling. It's like, you could have waited.
Well, how was she supposed to know that was going to happen?
But it's okay. They flew away anyway.
Yeah, it's stuff like that. And also that thing with Yubaba at the very end seems like she's trying to trick Chihiro into staying because which pigs are your parents?
None of them are.
None of them. Oh, and then the contract just. Are you sure? It's like, poof. Contract.
There's a lot of connection between that and the Fae folklore.
Yeah,
especially stealing your name and tricking you into stuff like that.
Don't try to get in the mind of the Fae.
Yep.
You do no idea what their thought processes are. Yeah, and other people, it's like at the end there, they're cheering. It's like, do they actually like Chihiro or not? Because they seem to be all over the place. Because Chihiro's actions seem to be all over the place, regards whether it benefited them or not. Are they cheering because they're happy for her, or are they cheering because thank God she's gone?
Now I just want you gone.
She's the human. She shows up. She's not quite, doing her job as well as she could. They're kind of expecting because 10-year-old kid. But she also does that thing where it's she's the one who figured out the stink spear was actually a river guardian, and kind of. She didn't really figure it out. She just kind of was. There's something sticking out of him, and then because of that, they're able to get a huge money because he left a bunch of gold.
Yep.
So big deal there.
But she also brought the No-Face in that ate people.
Mm-hmm.
And just generally disrupted everything.
Yeah. Of course, they're happy with the No-Face because he's giving them gold.
And then it turned out to be fake.
Yeah, it's all to be rocks. I got a rock. Yeah, so as a movie, it's mostly the visual spectacle is the reason to watch it, right?
Yeah.
The plot is, again, like we said, it's there. It works. It's not bad or anything. It's just very basic in many ways. And it's a gorgeous movie. It looks good. The art direction's amazing. The actual animation's really good. There's a lot of little details you'll see here and there. But, I even like stuff that one point when smelling the stinks, the stink spirit, quote unquote. You see her hair kind of, kind of all straighten out and get it's spike and everything. stuff like that. I like little like, or like, oh, even the animation of like when Haku's in his dragon form, just like, you know, in the air.
It's so fluid.
Yeah, very fluid and, you know, all that stuff. And, you know, when he slammed into the building, when she opened the window, you know, and all that stuff, it looked great. And even I would say even the blood splatter thing they did right there was also good looking.
Yeah.
There's a lot of little details like that worked really well. And that's one of those things that's Studio Ghibli's strength very much. It's always been their strength, is just simply it's this attention to detail in their animation is always, even if the story itself, I've heard some of the movies are not so great story-wise, it always look beautiful.
Yeah, Ghibli is probably best known for their visuals.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I'm aware, they're really well known for their visuals.
Yeah. Yeah, it's worth watching.
Definitely worth watching.
For sure. Just mostly be aware that, you know, you're watching it for the visual.
It's a spectacle.
Yeah, the visual spectacle of it is the reason you're watching. It's not a particularly deep plot. It's actually pretty basic, and even in some ways I would kind of say cliche in some ways. Weirdly enough, some of it, like that, you know, particularly the romance between Haku and Chihiro.
Yeah, the romance I feel was kind of forced.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's very much, if you haven't already watched it or whatever, definitely worth it.
Definitely.
And we gotta, down the line, we gotta find some more Studio Ghibli stuff to watch, because there's a lot of, the problem is, well, it's on a streaming service neither of us are on, and
just run down to Walmart and buy them all.
Yeah, or actually you can buy the whole collection online for like $300, like something like $300, like 24 movies, $300, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of, if you want to watch it, you can, Blu-rays are readily available of this, and also I believe it's on HBO Max. Was that the one, or is it? Yeah, they made the deal with HBO, or it's just Max now because
right,
Zaslav's an idiot. But yeah, if you want to watch it, there's your way to watch. The legal ways to watch it, shall we say? Beyond that, it's good. It's an amazing movie. It's worth watching. There's no reason to not watch it if you're at all interested in anime. Just, again, you're here for the animation. I will say the music, it wasn't particularly memorable, but it worked for what it was doing.
Right.
It's one of those things. It's like the music works for the scenes it's scoring, but you're not going to really remember it.
Honestly, I think the music, that's a tough one to say, really. I don't know if I want to say it like that. Because sometimes you worry about, like, is the music going to take away from the visuals when the visuals are the main point? But also, like, I don't know if you can have music that takes away from the visual. I don't even know if that's possible. Because
music can be poorly scored or written or whatever, that can distract you. But it's not.
The idea of sometimes scaling the music back.
Or sometimes you get the thing where the music just does not fit the scene or whatever, which you see that. But in this, I think all the music fits where it should, but it's not particularly memorable. That's my thing about it. Yeah, that's pretty much where we're at, I guess. As a whole, it's got a lot of fun little things and stuff. There's there's little funny bits here and there too as well, like the Chihiro accidentally going down the stairs too fast and running face first into a wall,
and then again when being chased by No Face.
Yeah,
so not as bad because you learned a lesson and No Face just blasted into it.
Yeah, stuff like that, or having to awkwardly squeeze into an elevator with a very, very large spirit.
Yep,
who took up most of the elevator. Yeah, so. Yeah, it's a good one, and yeah, it's good. And you haven't watched it already, watch it.
Yep.
So, I guess that's it.
That's all.
If you did enjoy this episode, you can check out other ones. We are at newtoweeaboo.libsyn.com. It's spelled LIBSYN. You can check out again all the old episodes and current episodes as they come out on there. Via the RSS feed or whatnot. You can also find us on various other services like Apple Podcasts and Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Podcasts. You can search for New to Weeaboo and all those and subscribe via those methods if you want. You can also contact us via email, newtoweeaboo@gmail.com. If you want to, have questions or comments or criticisms or anime recommendations, what have you. You can also follow us on our various social media. It's at newtoweeaboo.libsyn.com/contact. All the list of current social media is right there. And you can also find our personal accounts via those accounts pretty easily. So, again, wrapping up for this. So, tune in next time. We'll be talking about, and we're going in a week. We're going to be coming back in a week this time because, just to get the schedule back on track.
Yep.
We'll be talking about Watamote.
Watamote. Oh boy, I'm in for a cringe fest.
Oh, you are. It hurts.
This is going to be painful.
So, we shall see you then. As long as he doesn't cringe his face away entirely, like his face just cringes so hard, you
like a
pull it into
lemon.
black hole.
Because that's the current meme now, licking a lemon.
Yep, lemon.
I'll cringe so hard I turn into a singularity of cringe.
Yep. So we'll see. So enjoy your May, I guess, as it somewhat warms up.
As it attempts to.
And take care of yourselves and goodbye.
Bye.